Something just changed in the U.S. housing market, and almost no one is talking about it. After years of homeowners refusing to sell, the so-called lock-in effect is finally starting to crack. And this shift could trigger one of the most important turning points the housing market has seen in years. If you own a home or thinking about buying or have money tied to real estate, what's happening right now could affect you much sooner than you expect. For years, the U.S. homeowners locked in historically low mortgage rates during the pandemic, 3%, sometimes even less. Selling their home meant giving up that cheap debt and taking on a new mortgage at 6, 7, or even 8%. So people stayed put, they didn't move, they didn't sell, inventory collapsed, and prices stayed high, not because demand was strong, but because supply was trapped. This became known, and it was the single biggest force holding the housing market together. But now, that force is weakening. New data shows that, for the first time in years, more homeowners are carrying higher mortgage rates instead of ultra-low ones. That changes behavior, and it changes the math. Staying no longer feels safe. Life doesn't stop just because interest rates went up. People still lose jobs. They still get divorced. Medical bills pile up. Property taxes rise. Insurance costs explode. And suddenly, waiting is no longer an option. When homeowners are forced to sell, they don't wait for the perfect price. They cut. They negotiate. They accept less. That's how pressure enters the system. When more homes hit the market, buyers gain leverage. When buyers gain leverage, urgency disappears. And when urgency disappears, prices start to move not upward, but downward. This is how housing resets begin. Not with a headline screaming crash, but quietly, gradually, until momentum flips. More listings lead to more competition. More competition leads to price pressure. And price pressure changes psychology. Buyers stop rushing. They wait, they hesitate, they negotiate harder. Sellers feel it first. Then investors. Then lenders. And once confidence cracks, it's very hard to put it back together. For homeowners, this moment matters. For investors, it matters even more. Because the lock-in effect was the last major barrier preventing a broader correction. And now that it's fading, the question is no longer whether the market will shift, but how fast. Some people will call this an opportunity. Others will call it the beginning of a downturn. But one thing is clear. The housing market you knew is changing, and this is only the first signal. If you want to stay ahead of what's coming next in the housing market, make sure to like this video. It helps more people see what's really happening. And subscribe to the channel because this story is just getting started, and we'll be tracking every move as it unfolds.